Have you ever found yourself staring at a blank page, a full inbox, or a messy room, knowing exactly what you need to do, but physically unable to start? Instead, you find yourself tidying your desk for the 10th time, scrolling through your phone, or suddenly deciding you need to research the history of the spork. You're not lazy, and you're not broken. What you're experiencing is a subtle, unconscious battle happening inside your brain. Procrastination isn't a character flaw. It's a complex psychological response to our emotions. It's our brain's way of trying to protect us from unpleasant feelings like boredom, anxiety, or self-doubt. Today, we're going to decode the science behind why you procrastinate and, more importantly, reveal the science-backed strategies to finally take back control. So, get ready to stop fighting against your brain and start working with it. Number 1, you're caught in the dopamine trap. Let's start with the most fundamental reason, your brain chemistry. Your brain is hardwired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. It operates on a system of rewards, and the main chemical messenger for that reward system is dopamine. When you do something enjoyable, like eating a cookie or watching a funny video, your brain releases a little hit of dopamine, making you feel good. The problem is, difficult or important tasks rarely offer an immediate dopamine hit. Writing that 20-page report? The reward is weeks away. Studying for a final exam? The good grade is a distant concept. Your brain, in its infinite wisdom, sees a choice: do the hard thing for a far-off, uncertain reward, or do the easy thing for an instant, guaranteed hit of dopamine right now? It's an unfair fight. This is a psychological principle known as present bias. We have a natural tendency to overvalue immediate rewards at the expense of long-term goals. Think about a time you had to start a big project for work. The project felt daunting, and just thinking about it might have brought up feelings of stress. But checking your social media feed? That offers an instant, easy-to-get reward. Your brain isn't being lazy, it's simply choosing the path of least resistance to get its chemical treat. The solution isn't to eliminate dopamine, but to hijack the system. Break the daunting task into ridiculously small pieces, and then, this is the crucial part, give yourself a small, immediate reward for completing each piece. Finished one paragraph? Allow yourself 5 minutes of music. Answered 5 emails? Get up and stretch. You're creating a new feedback loop where progress, not procrastination, delivers the dopamine. Number 2, the perfectionism paradox. This one is sneaky because it often masquerades as a positive trait. You tell yourself, I'm not procrastinating, I'm just waiting for the right moment, or I just want to do it perfectly. But here's the truth, for many, perfectionism is just fear wearing a fancy suit. It's the fear of failure, the fear of judgment, or the fear that your best effort won't be good enough. The psychological root here is all-or-nothing thinking. Your brain creates a mental image of a flawless outcome. Anything less than that perfect result is seen as a total failure. The pressure to create this masterpiece becomes so immense, so intimidating, that starting becomes the scariest part. It's easier to live with the idea of a perfect, unwritten novel in your head than to face a messy, imperfect first draft on the page. Imagine you want to start a YouTube channel. You spend weeks researching the perfect camera, the best microphone, and the ideal editing software. You watch hundreds of videos on lighting and SEO. You've done everything except film your first video. Why? Because in your mind, that first video has to be a viral hit. The fear that it will be awkward, or get no views, is so powerful that it paralyzes you. The research phase becomes a comfortable form of procrastination. To break this cycle, you need to embrace the power of good enough. Give yourself permission to be a beginner. The secret is the 2-minute rule. Whatever the task is, commit to doing it for just 2 minutes. Don't want to go for a run? Just put on your running shoes and walk out the door. That's it. Don't want to write your essay? Just open the document and write one sentence. More often than not, starting is the hardest part. Once you overcome that initial friction, momentum takes over. Number 3, the fog of ambiguity. Your brain hates uncertainty. It craves clarity and specific instructions. When a task on your to-do list is vague, your brain doesn't know where to start, and that confusion triggers a mild stress response. To avoid that stress, your brain says, let's do something else instead, something I know how to do, like rewatching that TV show. Think about your own to-do list. Do you have items like work on presentation, clean the house, or plan vacation? These are procrastination magnets. Work on presentation could mean 100 different things. Do you need to research? Create an outline? Find images? Design slides? Your brain sees this ambiguity, feels overwhelmed, and shuts down. This is related to a concept called decision paralysis. When faced with too many options or an unclear path, we are less likely to make any decision at all. A vague task is like a room with 1,000 doors, it's easier to just stay in the hallway. The solution is to become ruthlessly specific. Your job is to be the project manager for your own brain. Instead of clean the house, your next action is put all the dirty dishes in the dishwasher. Instead of work on presentation, it's find 3 statistics to support my main argument. The goal is to define the very next physical action so clearly that a 5-year-old could understand it. When the path is clear, your brain no longer has an excuse to take a detour. Number 4, you're disconnected from your future self. This is one of the most fascinating psychological reasons for procrastination. Researchers have found that we tend to think of our future self as a completely different person, a stranger who will magically have more time, more energy, and more motivation than our present self. When you say, "I'll do it tomorrow," you're not really making a commitment. You're passing the buck to a different person. It's easy to load up future you with all the unpleasant tasks, because from the perspective of present you, you're not the one who has to do them. Psychologists call this a lack of future self-continuity. Brain scans have even shown that when we think about our future selves, the parts of our brain that light up are the same ones that activate when we think about a stranger. Imagine it's 10 p.m. You know you should pack your gym bag for the morning. But you're tired. You think, morning me will handle it. Morning me is a go-getter. But when you wake up, you are morning me, and you're just as tired and unmotivated. You feel betrayed by past you, and the cycle continues. To combat this, you need to build empathy for your future self. Actively think of future you as your best friend. Would you leave a huge pile of work for your best friend to deal with at the last minute? Probably not. A powerful exercise is to take a moment and visualize your future self 1 week from now, or 1 year from now. Imagine the relief and pride they will feel because of the work you are doing today. You can even write a quick email or note to your future self, thanking them for their hard work. It sounds strange, but these techniques help bridge that psychological gap, making you more likely to act in your own long-term best interest. Number 5, your willpower is an energy vampire. We often talk about willpower as if it's an infinite well of moral strength. It's not. Think of your willpower more like a muscle or a phone battery. It gets depleted with use throughout the day. Every decision you make, from choosing what to wear to resisting a donut in the break room, drains a little bit of that battery. This concept is known as ego depletion. By the end of the day, after making hundreds of small decisions and resisting countless temptations, your willpower battery is running low. When it's time to tackle that big, important task you've been putting off, you have very little mental energy left to force yourself to do it. At that point, Your brain's desire for an easy, low-effort activity like scrolling on your phone is almost impossible to resist. Have you ever had a super productive morning, only to find that by 3 p.m., you can't focus on anything and end up wasting the rest of the afternoon? That's ego depletion in action. You used up all your best decision-making energy early on. The most effective strategy to counter this is known as eating the frog. It comes from a Mark Twain quote: "If it's your job to eat a frog, it's best to do it first thing in the morning." Your frog is your most important, most challenging task, the one you are most likely to procrastinate on. By tackling it first thing in the morning, you use your willpower when it's at its absolute peak. You're using your best energy on your most important work. Everything else you do for the rest of the day will feel easy by comparison. Number 6. The avalanche effect. Sometimes, we procrastinate simply because the task feels too big. The sheer scale of it is so overwhelming that our brain interprets it as a threat. This feeling of being overwhelmed triggers a flight response, and procrastination is that flight. We run away to the safety of smaller, more manageable, and less important activities. The psychology behind this is called task aversion. It's not just that the task is big, it's that the bigness makes it seem inherently negative and stressful. Your brain anticipates the pain and effort required and decides to avoid it altogether. It's like standing at the bottom of a huge mountain you're supposed to climb. Just looking up at the peak is exhausting, so you decide to have a picnic at the base instead. Let's say your goal is to write a book. That's not a task, it's an avalanche waiting to happen. The thought alone is enough to make you want to go take a nap. The goal is so massive that the starting point is invisible. To prevent the avalanche, you need to break the mountain down into a series of small, walkable hills. This is where techniques like the Pomodoro technique are brilliant. You set a timer for 25 minutes and work on one, and only one, tiny piece of the project. Your goal isn't to write the book. Your goal is to work for 25 minutes. Anyone can do anything for 25 minutes. When the timer goes off, you take a 5-minute break. You've just climbed one small hill. After 4 of these Pomodoros, you take a longer break. This method breaks the cycle of overwhelm by shifting your focus from the massive outcome to a small, manageable process. It turns the avalanche into a collection of single snowflakes. Before we wrap up, it's important to remember that this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. While these strategies are rooted in psychological principles, they are not a substitute for professional advice from a qualified therapist or counselor, especially if procrastination is significantly impacting your life. So, what's the real secret to stop procrastinating? It's realizing that you don't need more discipline or more willpower. You need more self-compassion and better strategies. Procrastination is a signal. It's your brain telling you that the task you're avoiding is boring, too big, too scary, or too vague. Instead of trying to silence that signal with force, listen to it. Understand the underlying reason, and then choose the right tool to address it. Work with your brain's natural tendencies, not against them. Use dopamine to your advantage, make peace with imperfection, and be a friend to your future self. And now, I have a question for you. We've talked about a lot of different reasons people procrastinate. Which of these hidden causes resonated with you the most? Is it the perfectionism paradox, where you're afraid to start unless it's flawless? Or maybe it's the dopamine trap, where the lure of instant gratification is just too strong? Share your biggest procrastination trigger in the comments below. Reading through them is a great reminder that we're all in this together.